Right, this is loading right now, and we are about to go live. All right, we are live. All right, ladies, you guys ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do
All
it.
right, all right, we are live, y'all. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome to that section of the Government Cloud Podcast. You guys already know who I am. My name is Will. I am the host of this show. I hope you guys are ready for tonight. I hope you guys are ready for a great show for you guys. We have some beautiful ladies joining us for tonight. I know it is Halloween night, so like I said, if you have no plans for Halloween and you're single as hell, definitely you're in the right place right now. Definitely in the right place right now. We got a great show for you guys, great topics to discuss. Real quick, if you're tuning in for the very first time to my live show, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Also to all my subscribers, all the supporters that always support my channel, always drop onto my live shows. Thank you so much. Don't forget, we got the live chat going. So let's get this live chat going right now. Drop a comment, let me know where you guys from, and drop a comment, let me know what you guys think about our show tonight, the topics we want to discuss, and definitely let me know your feedback. And also, don't forget, we do have the super chat donation. So if you guys have a specific question you guys want to ask me or ask the ladies directly, drop it through a super chat donation. For everybody that always drops a super chat donation to my channel, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you. That's ultimately always going to go to my podcast studio. So thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. But nevertheless, let's get this show started, y'all. We got the beautiful ladies. I'm gonna ask these ladies real quick to introduce themselves real quick. So, ladies, if you introduce your name, your age, what do you do, and what is your relationship status? A lot of people are single tonight, so they want to know. All right. So Haley, go ahead. Introduce
Hi.
yourself real quick.
Hello, my name is Haley. I'm 28 years old. I'm out here in Virginia. I'm currently a dentist and I am in a relationship.
All right. She is in a relationship, y'all. So, all right. Thank you so much, Haley, for joining us on the podcast. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Brittany, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, I'm Brittany. I am I'm from San Diego, but I live in Las Vegas, and I am a waitress at Hell's Kitchen in Caesar's Palace, and I am single.
All right. She is single. You already know what to do, fellas. Start sending those DMs. Trick or treat. That's your pickup line. Trick or treat. All right, no worries. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for taking the time. Also, before we start the show real quick, if you love the content, love what I do, please press that subscribe button real quick. Thank you so much. But let's get right into it. So, since it's Halloween, ladies, I have a unique question. Since it's Halloween, I do want to ask you guys to start off the podcast. What is your worst or scariest dating experience? Since it's Halloween, so I want to start off with that topic before I pass it on to you guys. So that's my first question. Just for the sake of Halloween, to celebrate Halloween, trick or treat. What is your scariest or worst dating experience you've ever gone on? And I want to start with you.
I'll let you go first.
Go ahead, Haley.
Me?
Haley. Yes.
Like a specific date?
Oh, date or just experience with a guy,
Okay. So I met a guy on TikTok actually, and we had been friends for a couple months, like followed each other, yada yada yada. We have mutual friends. So then we eventually got to a point where we exchanged numbers. Eventually it got to a point where we were like talking, and I was getting a lot of, it seemed like we were like into each other. Like he was into me, I was into him. Obviously we're long distance, so we make plans to go on a trip together to meet up with some other mutual friends we had in Nashville. He lived in Texas. I'm in Virginia. So what we did, we made plans to have him fly to Virginia, and I paid for his ticket, and then we were going to drive to Nashville. And it was sweet because he offered to ride with me because it's like a 6-hour drive to Nashville. And so that was also another thing. And also it was kind of understood that we were going to share like a hotel room.
Yeah.
All things, right? I mean, why would you plan this trip if not, like if it was like, I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, so he flies here, and it's like super great to see him, and we hug. He stays at my apartment, and it's super weird because he's like, I'm gonna stay in the guest bedroom, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's the first time meeting him. That's respectful. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then we're on this drive to Nashville. We're stuck in the car together. So like literally we're just putting everything out there. This whole thing turned into a nightmare. He basically tells me that no, he only sees me as a friend, and he's telling me about all the girls lately that he's hooked up with. Yada, yada, yada. He's like, ew, I could never kiss you. I could never look at you the same if I even I don't see you like that. And I'm like on the inside, I'm just like, I was so misled, misunderstood. It gets better. I mean, this is a nightmare of 6 hours, just hearing all this stuff, because he's so open about it and so honest. And it's like, you were not honest at all. We had talked. There were so many opportunities to be more straight up with me before I paid to fly him here, because I appreciated the fact that he was going to not make me drive alone. So it gets better. So we have, he agreed. I booked us the hotel room that we were supposed to share together. And I was like, so is this going to be an issue? Should I have gotten two separate beds in the room?
Yeah.
I assumed you did. And I was like, nah, I didn't. I was like, but no big deal. I'm sure we could change it. Whatever. And he's like, no, I'll just get a different room. Well, and I tried to tell him no. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to get my own room. I'm like, this is just getting worse and worse as it goes on. So he gets a different room in a completely different hotel. Not only that, so we get to Nashville and we meet up with our friends. His whole agenda was to meet this other girl. So by the end of that night, he meets up with this girl, and she's tagging along with us the entire weekend. Okay, so this was almost kind of set up like a double date, because we were meeting another couple there that lived in Nashville. So the way this whole plan was supposed to be him and I, and then the other guys, guy, girl. And no, I was basically a fifth wheel the whole weekend, which I still had fun because it was good to see my friends, but it was a nightmare. We didn't speak. We don't speak. We had this friendship for months, and interacted with each other and followed each other on TikTok and Instagram. And I never expected it to go anywhere serious, but it turned uber toxic, volatile. I don't know. But that was by far probably the worst dating experience and biggest regret. By the end of the weekend, I would say he was a piece of trash.
What'd you end up spending?
Away.
I don't know. I don't want to know. I think the plane ticket was $250. And I even got him Delta Comfort.
The audacity.
Yeah. He offered to pay. I'm too nice. I know it. I'm too much of when I like somebody, I know that and this is one of my biggest flaws, I think, is I will go too much above and beyond.
Above and beyond, yeah.
Instead of people, you should only do so much, but that sort of thing needs to be earned also in a way.
Yeah, of course.
Especially that situation, I did way too much.
Which app did you meet him? Which platform?
I met him through TikTok.
TikTok?
Through mutual friends and everything. And then we followed each other on Instagram, and we would interact with each other's stories, and we were always DMing on Instagram. And then we had exchanged numbers. We were texting and FaceTiming for 3 months before we met in person.
When you guys were FaceTiming or texting back and forth, was it ever romantic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Friend, but texting romantic.
Was it flirting?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
You like 100.
All of the above. Like I'm not dumb. I can read signals, but like, you know, again, we were really long distance, and it was like, you know, no strings attached or anything. Obviously, he's doing his thing. I'll do my thing here, but like, I did not expect him to get in the car and be like, ew. He told me that he wanted to us to be lifelong friends and for his kids to call me Aunt Haley one day. And I was like, this is getting this is too much. I wanted to like throw him out of the car on the curb, like on the interstate. I'm like, F you, bro. Like, that's not the way, that was not my understanding. I was totally like misled here.
Yeah, misled you. Yeah,
and I think up until I did notice like, you know, things changing a little bit, like up 2 weeks before this trip, but we already had it planned and whatnot. And it was, you know, just like whatever, but he definitely led me on. And then I think he had like the idea of a romantic sort of way up until like that 2 weeks before. And then just made this switch in his head without like being like super honest about it before it even happened. So
all right.
I don't know.
I always say on my channel, for all the ladies out there, never invest into a man until he makes you official.
We never professional. What are you talking about?
until he commits to you officially that you're the boyfriend or you're the girlfriend. I'm telling you, man.
I wouldn't say it has to be official, but like I did way too much.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have
needs to be some mutual.
You have to get him to say the intentions. Like, yeah, I want to make you my girlfriend.
Right.
Well,
it doesn't mean anything. You know how guys are. You know, I'm gonna be honest. We say whatever we want. You guys are here.
Set the expectations. You know, is this like on a romantic level, or, you know, you should be a little bit more upfront earlier that, you know, that like you just like friendly sort of thing.
Yeah. Definitely. No. Yeah. I mean, I would always tell women, you know, like men will only invest into the woman he wants. And until he manifests that or tells you that directly or shows it with his actions, then everything else means nothing. You know, that's just my opinion about it. You know, that's why I tell my friends, my young female friends, like, get him to make it official with you. And if he's not willing to do that, you're not the woman. Because if guys will go above and beyond for the woman he wants.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I've realized that. All right, Brittany, I want to hear your worst dating story.
All right, Brady, can you top that? Brittany, can you top that?
Huh?
Can you top that, Brittany? Can you top that story?
I mean, it depends if you want like the heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Relationship.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So I took a year off of dating. I decided I'm going to be celibate. I don't want to have no relationships with anyone. I'm going to find myself. I'm going to love myself, do all the things. Next man I'm going to be with, that's going to be my husband, right? So finally now. So now I'm ready for a relationship. And I'm going online. I'm going on Plenty of Fish. I'm going on Tinder. I'm like trying to find dates or whatever. So I meet this guy. He's tall. He's handsome. He's really nice. We have great conversation. He's funny. He seems like a nice guy. And when I say a nice guy, I mean like just genuinely like, you know, almost like church boy kind of nice guy.
Oh,
like
church boy. Oh, yeah, like super nice.
Yeah. And like his family, super nice, all that in it. So we start dating. He has 2 kids. I have 1 child. And, you know, he's a single dad. I was a single mom. It just kind of clicked. You know, we worked. Now, mind you, I see red flags, but I'm like, I can work with these. Like, I can figure this. We can work on that. I can fix you, you know, and that's one of our problems as women. We're always trying to fix a man. Not anymore. But anyway, the story, I did. So, you know, a year goes by, we decide to move in together. We integrate our families, and not even a whole 4 months into me moving in with this man, I find out that he's cheating. Yeah. So of course I'm devastated. I'm mad. I'm like, I'm fucking leaving you. So I do leave for like a day, and then I forgive him way too easily. And I just go back because in my head, I'm thinking, so far he's hitting all these checks, even though I see all these red flags over here, he's hitting all these check marks that I've been wanting. So I'm just like, whatever, like I'm gonna give it one more chance. Everybody deserves at least a second chance. So I give him a second chance. He now at this point, he's like, I just want to give you what you want. So he knows that I want family. So he's like, I'm gonna give you a ring. I'm gonna buy you a house. We're gonna do everything because I want to give you what you want, because he doesn't want me to leave him. So at this point, I'm like, okay, like if you're gonna actually be loyal, then yes.
Okay.
Fast forward another year and a half, the wedding is about to go down, and I find out a month before the wedding that he cheated again.
Oh.
Right? A month before the wedding, you have invitations out, you have, your family talking about it, your friends talking about it, everything, right? So I'm like, I leave for 2 weeks and I'm like, I'm not gonna marry you. I hate you. I don't want to be with you anymore. But then it's the thought of, I just spent all this money on this wedding and I invested all this time. Your kids, I'm pretty much their mother. You're pretty much a father to my child. We have a house together. We've done all this stuff. We built up together. And do I just drop that and drop the wedding? Of course, me being dumb. No. So I go through with the wedding.
Oh.
Oh,
yes.
No.
Through the whole time, I'm reading these vows, and in my head, I'm like, I actually fucking hate you right now, but.
the TikTok sound? Oh, no. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is a horror story, I'm telling you.
Poor thing.
Trick or treat.
I'm telling you. So then the wedding's over. It was a beautiful wedding. Really, in hindsight, I just kind of wanted the ceremony. I don't know. But 5 months later, again, I find this man cheating. But not only this time did he cheat, he got another woman pregnant.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's not just one woman at a time. Like I found like there was 5 or 6 of them. Yeah. And he was giving these women my work schedule on his availability. It was just like literally insane. And when you see him, like if you were to see him right now, you would be like, no, not him. No. And then when I finally left and I packed my shit up, I was like, I don't want the house. I'm not taking you for anything. I'm just leaving. I bow out gracefully. I don't want nothing to do with you anymore. And he was just like, the whole time, he was just like, but I never thought you would leave me.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
What? I don't understand that concept. Men, like I trained him to believe that he can do what he did because I kept taking him back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After the 3rd time, obviously, it was kind of that thing where it's like, no, not anymore. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Like, clearly this man's has a problem.
Well, yeah. I'm like, do you have like a sex problem? Like, is there,
Yeah.
I still to this day, I did a TikTok on this actually, but it's just like, you want closure, you want the answers, and you keep on trying to like nitpick at it, but you just keep finding things that are just going to piss you off even more. And it's just, instead of trying to find the answers, I don't want any contact. I left without trying to take the house or trying to do this and that, because you might get a way to get me back. You might guilt me into wanting to come back with you. You know what I mean? Like he had his children kind of like looking at me like, but mommy, you're leaving us? And I'm just like,
that's
it's your dad's
That's
body.
tough. That's tough. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was definitely a hard situation for sure.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
Did he ever say why? Why he cheated?
There was no answer.
No answer.
It was
he didn't
just,
say anything.
It's like I don't know. He's like I feel like he had a complex of wanting. You know what? I don't even know.
It's all good.
It's just one of those things.
All right.
You just have to be done.
Yeah. He was just a douchebag, and I have to leave that at that.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
So,
Right before the quarantine, like October of 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could have tracked him.
Around this time, I was like, I'm gonna kill him. His balls are gonna be a fucking plaque on my wall.
Oh my God.
Man,
have you dated since?
So I did have somewhat of a rebound for a little bit, and that ended up kind of being a little toxic on its own, because it was kind of like I was grieving and he was supposed to fill that void kind of thing, and he was going through the same situation actually as well. So it kind of ended up being like we were both kind of using each other as crutches, and it just became toxic. So we had to like let that go too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, that's rough.
That year of breaking up, and then quarantine hit me like that. So I had no choice but to sit in this house and just think about all the bad decisions I've made.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just every little thing I was just like writing down in my journal. I was reading self-help books. I was doing all this extra stuff because I was just like, what did I do wrong? Because I didn't even want to play the victim card, like he did this to me. No, I allowed him to do that to me.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
Yeah.
Because I should have left the first time. And the one thing I told him from the beginning was like, if you cheat on me, I'm leaving you. And then what did he do? He cheated. And I was like, all right, one more time, one more chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As women, we have this notion, like we feel like it's me. You don't want to do this to me. Like, you want me.
Yeah.
Like, I can fix it. We can fix it. But it's like, no. You know, if you have problems, if you have like this need to run the streets and be the little thought that you are, then you do that, but do it without me. You know, like communicate with me. Because I told him, I was like, if this is what you want to do, just go ahead, go out. Like, I don't need that in my life. You know, like I went through this whole, year of being by myself. I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely one of those things that I had to really understand, like, why did I keep on leaping past those red flags and like ignoring them?
All right.
Life experience.
Yeah. Well, ladies, you both definitely scared the shit out of me with your horror stories.
What about you, Will? Do you have a story?
I'm trying to think.
Like,
I mean,
yours now.
I'm trying to think. I don't have any. I mean, I've had some bad dates, but not to the level of you guys.
No, I like one and done bad date stories.
I mean, I think for me, like the worst I've ever experienced it was I met a girl on Snapchat, and she did not. I got catfished, and clearly it was not like what she posted.
Wait, did she? You got catfished on Snapchat?
Yeah, the filters. Have you seen the filters on Snapchat? Oh my god! Well,
I don't use them.
But this was like I think what 4 years ago. This was 3-4 years ago. But the filters of Snapchat, oh my god, that does wonders.
They really have come a long way. You are right.
And she knew the angles too. She knew how to do the angle. Like
catfish you on, like her face, her body, like what was it?
her body, yeah, her body,
body.
yeah, yeah.
So
She
it was
did not,
her face, but she was probably
her,
what
fa- no,
bigger.
no, her face too, because the filter just covered a lot of things on her face.
Right, like a smoothing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like perfect skin and everything,
and like the dark circles no longer there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I saw her, this was scared. It's like I pulled up, and then I was looking because I told her she was gonna meet me outside of this I think store or Starbucks, I think. Oh, I forgot the name of the store, but so I pull up and I'm looking at her, but I thought she's a different person. I call her, I was like, hey, I was like, where are you at? And she's like, I'm in front of the store. I'm like, I know I'm in front of the store. I'm looking at somebody, but I can't see you. And she was like, no, I'm in front of the store. And I was like, that's when I realized, oh my God, that's her.
Oh,
So what'd you do? Did you go through with the date?
Yes, luckily I'm a good guy. And I was like, dang, you know what? It is what it is. Let me just go on this date. I'm already here.
Yeah.
For me, when I make a commitment with somebody, like I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be
right.
there. So
I've never been catfished before, but I just can't imagine. Like you hear these stories,
oh yeah.
people tell, and a lot of people you'll hear them usually say that they still go through with the date, but I don't know like what I would do. I guess I'd probably do the same thing.
The notion, though, like how like what is it, like women feel like danger, or like when someone is creeping behind them, or like a car rolls up and they'd be like, oh, I'm just going to talk to them even though I have that stranger danger, I'm not going to do it. And they ended up getting kidnapped or raped or whatever it may be. It's just like, it's kind of that same thing when you get catfish. It's like, no, I'm not going on a date with you because this is not what you told me online. This is not what you showed me.
The false advertising. Come on.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point like of catfishing yourself, when you're going to meet in person at some point, and if they don't like you in the pictures,
oh yeah,
it's probably worse in person.
Exactly.
Now I found a solution to that. Now, if I do meet somebody on the social media app or online, I always have to FaceTime you before we meet up.
Every time.
We're gonna FaceTime. We're gonna do a quick combo real quick and FaceTime, and we get to see each other.
Yeah, I do that with everybody.
Yeah, if they're not willing to FaceTime, I don't even entertain, because that means they're hiding something. They're hiding something, or they're not really interested in you. So
I always ask for like their Instagram and their TikTok, like if they are creators at least. I just ask for the Instagram mostly. I've never been catfished before, but maybe the FaceTiming thing you're onto something.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Just
FaceTime.
That is like a very sure way
Guaranteed.
that you are going to know, even if it's like a lot of people will post a lot of younger pictures of themselves.
Of course, high school.
When they look better. And then now they've gained 30 pounds and they're bald. And I mean, you know what I mean? And it's them, when they were a D1 athlete, sophomore college, and you're like, ooh, and then they fell off the deep end.
Right. We're at that age now. Like, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 32. And at this point, they're all balding. They're starting to bald. So we have to accept that. Sorry.
I wish I could show you a picture of my man's hair right now. It's longer than mine. I tell him all the time. He looks like Tarzan. I swear to God, he's 31. Nice. And I call him Tarzan. So I feel very fortunate. I'm like, you was blessed. Like, you can keep it long for as long as you want, do whatever. Because at least I won't have to worry about that happening anytime soon.
No worries. Yeah, lady, thank you so much for sharing your horror stories for Halloween weekend. And everybody that's watching this right now, let me know what your horror, if your horror story can top that, drop a comment, let me know. and I'll read it out. I'll read it on the live show. I definitely want to know you guys' horror stories out there, just for the sake of Halloween. But nevertheless, ladies, let's thank you so much for sharing it. We're gonna start the podcast real quick. We'll go right into your questions. So let me know what your questions are for tonight. And since it is Halloween, like I told you guys before, do not hold back. And let's scare the audience for tonight. maybe, maybe not. But I'll start with you, Haley. Haley, what is your question or topic you want to bring up for tonight?
Okay. My first question was, how much does a title really matter in a relationship? If both people are doing all the things, do you really need a title? Or when does it really matter? So, like, for instance, you'll notice I said I was in a relationship. And I said my man's, but he's not my boyfriend. That's the thing. But
okay, so Tarzan is not your boyfriend. Tarzan is not your boyfriend then?
Did I say my boyfriend? I said my man's. Yeah, Tarzan is not my boyfriend as of right now. Okay. But everything is like, it's like he's like my boyfriend. I mean, I call him that sometimes, like, just for reference to people who don't know him or whatever. But I mean, I feel like, because I've been trying to understand this, because I really do, people will call this a red flag. And so, they're like, they're never going to commit to you. And in some ways it does. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like he's not going to commit, but I feel like we're at a point in life where we're both mature enough that I almost view it as when we do make that step, or when he does officially like call me that, like it's going to be like for the long run, versus like, 3 months in. Really, 3 months isn't that long. I mean, it's long enough to, yes, get to know somebody, to know if you like them or not. But you also hear of a lot of relationships that end after 6, 9 months. But if we're in, I'm fairly confident. We both have, our jobs. We talk at the same time every night. On the weekends that I plan to come see him, like, there have been no red flags is the thing, other than the title thing. Other than that, everything is just like simple, straightforward. Like, our goals, everything lines up. It's just easy, honestly. So what are your guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Brittany, take it away.
Okay, so to me, are you okay with him sleeping with other women?
No, but we've had this conversation. I mean, like, that's clear.
But that's an open-ended thing for him, because now that he's not able to call you his girlfriend and there's no title, there's no ownership to the situation, he is able to sleep with other women, and he's going to be able to say, well, we're not technically boyfriend and girlfriend.
If it happens.
So, yeah, if it happens. And I'm not saying that he's going to, but at the end of the day, if he can't commit to you, then like, there's something that's like, that to me speaks volumes. Because if you guys talk every day, if you guys see each other every day, if you're sharing each other's lives and doing everything that a relationship is supposed to be doing, why can't he call you his girlfriend? Why won't he give you the title? There's no reason.
So, yeah, I mean, here's the only issue is right now, it's not even an issue, but we've been long distance the whole time. And so part of me feels like, well, because I am moving there in 2 weeks, kind of waiting to see like how, because we're going to go from being in a long distance relationship to now we're no longer at long distance sort of thing. So it's a hard place right now. I'm not gonna lie. Because I hate to it's like I see and I know. And like, if I was giving myself advice or anybody else, you would call it a red flag for sure. And like, be like, dump his ass, like,
but like,
why can't he commit? I know it's frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Oh, yeah. Brittany, anything else anymore? Anything else to say?
Go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
No, so for me, it's like I always say, men, when we are with the woman we want, we are extremely territorial. So a man that really likes you and you're the woman he wants to commit to, he will go out his way to make sure that no other man will want to be with you, and he will make it clear with you and give you that title. Right? Because men, I'm telling you right now, men are very territorial when it comes to the woman they want to be with. And if he's not willing to give you that title, I would agree with Brittany. He's opening up for multiple options. You have to think about it. In today's modern dating, this is the age of dating with social media, where there's so many options. And one of the biggest things I've noticed with people is people will be with somebody temporarily, just waiting for a better option to come. And based on the information you give me, it just sounds like to me, and like this is just my observation, what you've given me so far. It sounds like he's just with you because you're available to him. But he's still waiting for the woman he wants, and when that woman comes, then he will make that girl his official title. Because like Brittany made a great point. If he's doing it, if he's truly committed to your right commitment, like when you're committed to somebody, you go out and way to make sure that you do everything that you want to. You do everything for the partner to make them happy, right? So like if you're talking, if you guys are committing, like why can't he make you his girlfriend? Like it's real simple. Like why can't he make that commitment? Unless there's another reason. But I just coming from a guy, like I know for me, it's like if I want you really, really bad as a woman, like I want the whole world to know and the other men to know that's my woman. Because I'm extremely territorial.
Right.
And I want to be I want that to be known.
And I feel like as a woman as well, like we have this it taps into that like feminine energy kind of thing where we're supportive. We're supportive, we give you that confidence. And so it's like he's tapping into that from you for sure. Like from long distance, he gets that from you. He can call you and know that you're going to give him all that that he needs to, go on about his day. But if it comes to push and shove, I feel like that's how situationships start.
Yeah.
Like they need that confidence, but they're not sure if you're the one. So they're going to keep on having all these situationships, giving them that confidence and that nurturing energy that, we give. Because as women, of course, we always want to be like, you're the greatest, you're the cutest, you're the nicest, you know what I mean? But once they find that actual woman that they want to be with, they're gone. They go ghost.
Exactly. Like I'm telling you, like nothing's gonna stop a guy from making official with you if you're really the one he wants to commit to and sees long term, right? A lot of men will create situationships with women they see short term. That's why you have situationships, friend zone. We're not official. That's short term. But a guy that sees you that's the woman I want to see long term, it's nothing's gonna stop that man from making it official.
Right.
So that's just my observation opinion because I see it all the time, and especially with today's social media, there's so many options. And a lot of people today can be alone. So a lot of people just make situationships with people temporarily, just waiting until they get the one they really, really want and then commit to that person. I do have a question for you, Haley. Who suggested moving over there? Was it you or was it him?
Oh, before I met him, I was planning on it.
You were planning on it already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. But but you guys are about to move to live with them?
No.
Oh, okay. You're just leaving. You're just going there just to go there.
I'm gonna be moving to his city.
His city. So, okay.
Like I got my own apartment, and I'll be like 10 minutes away versus 3.5 hours.
No worries.
But my sister lives there, so like I have family there. That's where I've been wanting to move to for a while. So this is kind of so I put my Tinder settings in that specific area.
Oh, no worries.
This is how we met. So no, this was already like in my plan before he was ever even in my life. So.
And what was his response when you brought up the title? Like what was his What was his
Oh,
justification?
We kind of along the lines of waiting to see how things are when I get there. I don't know. He hasn't given me the best answers. So
I would throw my bone on here because it's long distance. What I'm saying is, if you guys are close to the same city and you're still after 3 months and you're still the same,
no, yeah.
that's clear as day.
Honestly, like I already have it in my head. Like at this point, like once I do move, like I said, I move here in 2 weeks. I'll probably will give him till the end of November. And then, if nothing changes, then I'm going to have to.
Yeah. You gotta get that title. You gotta get that title, girl. Get that title. Get that title.
I will say the only thing I do feel is like now that we have talked about it, and so I feel like it gives me at least the freedom to tell him no if I don't feel like doing something. Like every time I come and visit, like last time, he's like, "Do you want to go to this football game? My boss has tickets for," and I was like, "No, like I don't want to go without me."
Yeah.
He wants to go downtown, go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want me to. Like I don't feel bad about that. But I feel like if I really was a girlfriend, I would probably go more out of my way to do things that I didn't want to do, but for him. But at least I kind of have this like I don't give a shit attitude, and like I definitely don't go out of my way or above and beyond, or like I said, I don't do things I don't want to do just for like to appease him.
I'm telling you, if people, I mean, based on my observation and opinion, like people who don't want a title are people that want all the benefits of a relationship, but they don't want the commitment and the fidelity of a commitment.
Exactly. So
of a relationship.
They don't want the commitment. Like
they don't want the loyalty. They don't want to be stayed. They don't want to be tied down, right, to one person. But they want the benefits of it. That's why they keep it open. Like because if they really wanted their loyalty, if they wanted you to be loyal to him just as much as you want him to be loyal to you, he would have made that commitment official. Right. But that's what I've noticed with people. Because I have friends that are doing situationships and doing nothing official, and they tell me all the time that I don't want the commitment to her. I don't want to be loyal to her. But I do like being with her. You know, we have fun, we have sex. You know, she keeps me entertained. But I don't want to be with her solely tied down to her. So I keep it open. Like this is coming from my guy friends. So yeah. That's why I'm telling you, get that title, Haley. Yeah, get that title. I'm telling you, get that. Everything we buy.
I guess you have to, see how it is in person, because that could be a whole different thing as well. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's hard to like talk about these. I don't bring up topics like this over the phone. Like, the only way I have these conversations is face to face. So I gotta wait till I see him in person. But
have you seen him in person?
Huh?
Have you seen him in person?
Oh yeah, I see him all the time.
Oh, okay.
Like I drive down there, like we see each other almost every other weekend. Okay. As much as we can. Like I'll see him next weekend. But I usually see him. I'll usually drive down like on Thursdays after work, because I don't work on Fridays, which is nice. So I'll go Thursday evening and stay till Sunday, usually. But yeah, no, like I feel like I'm best friends with his friends. And like I've met his family, like a lot of his family. And he's met some of my family. And like when we are together, like I said, there's no sketchy, no shadiness. I don't know, like we're just very like straight straight peoples together. No bullshit.
Good then.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, so yeah, I see him in person all the time.
Haley, I have a real raw question I want to ask you because I know you mentioned before when you mentioned it in your horror story. Um, you said that you have a tendency to go above and beyond for certain people because that's the way you love. So I want to
Yeah.
ask you, the effort that he puts into the relationship, is it reciprocal? Is he putting the same amount of effort that you put it in? Because I know you mentioned that that's your love language. You like to go above and beyond when you meet people, and that's just how you are, and that's how you love, which is beautiful. But
No,
is it the same?
no.
Or it's a red flag for me. It should be the same.
So, like, why don't you feel he does the same? Like, what is it that you do that he doesn't do?
I definitely drive down there a lot more than he's came here.
Does he offer does he offer as much as you offer?
No,
Oh,
it's almost like understood. Which I
Does he
mean,
have to pay for gas?
no, but I probably wouldn't let him pay for my gas. I feel like I have
Brittany,
a lot of
tell her,
masculine energy.
Brittany, tell her, Brittany.
I'm sorry. Like, if I'm gonna do all the work, at least you can offer to pay my gas. Like, I remember I went on a date and this guy was like, he Ubered and like his Uber was like $40 to get back home because his car was in the shop. And I was like, you know what? If you're 10 minutes down the road, I'm not even going to be upset. I'll take you home. And he's like, okay. And he saw that my gas was like at a quarter tank. And he was like, hey, do you want some gas? I'm like, no, I don't. Thank you for the offer though. You know what I mean? But it's just like those things that like, that's just courtesy. And that's not even my man. That was like a first, second date kind of thing. So like for him to be your man, he's not even offering you gas to come and see him. And I'm pretty sure you're giving him some too at that. So like, at least something, like help me out here.
Haley, like I always say, Haley, like men, our love language is provide and protect. So we want to make sure you're safe. We want to provide for you, protect you. So for me, if my woman drive down here, I'll definitely make sure she has gas money. I'll definitely make sure she gets safe because I care about her. Because that's what happens when men when they find the woman they want. But the fact that there's no concern about because that's a long drive, right? You should be concerned to make sure. Okay, make sure that I want to make sure she gets back safely. I will give her gas money. And even if you say no, just offer it because it's something that it shows his level of concern for your safety. The fact that he didn't offer that and you're doing it more than he does, oof, girl.
Man, I'm gonna wake up and break up with him tomorrow.
I don't know. I don't want this to be another horror story, Haley.
It's not a horror story.
I don't want it to turn out to be. I don't want it to turn out to be another one.
Nah, I mean, it wouldn't be like, I mean, like he's affectionate and says like all the right, he definitely like his words says a lot.
Actions. Haley, you gotta look at the actions. Words don't mean no value without actions behind it.
I know, but when we get together too, it's good. But no, I hear you guys, and
well, because when you get together, who benefits him? That's what he needs from you.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's what he wants. Like when you get together, like that's.
But you're right.
He's getting what he needs, but are you getting what you need?
I know. I'm ignoring everything.
Yeah.
And it's not even like we're at fault because it's like when we love or when we like someone, we really, really just want it to work. And I can see you not really seeing, the red flags or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you kind of have to pay attention to his actions instead of his words. Like you can cuddle me at night, you can do this and that. But if you're not going to give me if you're not going to give me consistency, and if you're not going to give me it's almost like respect. Like if you're doing the driving, he should be doing something too. Or if if you guys should split the driving up, go back and forth. It shouldn't be just a half and half kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or like what's the word, 80-20 kind of thing.
Yeah, because for me, it's like commitment is all about reciprocation. It's
Yeah.
like you should always feel like that the love you put in is reciprocated equally.
Right.
And that's why I asked you that question. Do you believe in your heart? Is he matching? Is he reciprocating 100% every putting? And plus, when you mentioned that horror story, you said that you have a tendency to go above and beyond in the other person. If you're going above and beyond the other person, 99% of the time those relationships don't work.
Yeah, I know.
Because they can't value what you're giving it to him because you're just doing it without letting him earn it. And that's the key word. You have to earn. You have to earn it. Like your love and your attention, your time. You have to earn it. But
You guys are right. It's not that I'm not seeing, like, it's like I think about these things, like I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm choosing, I guess, to ignore them, and I make excuses. I know it is I guess in the back of my mind, it's just been like, I've had these plans to like move for so long. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I care, but I don't care. But you're right. Like, regardless, like he should be at least offering. And,
Yeah.
It's like you don't care right now. But once your starts going deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole, eventually things are going to be a problem for you.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing, when I am there, then what is it going to be? Because then we won't have the distance. We won't. And like I said, like it's going to eventually, I'm going to have to give him either an ultimatum or just walk away or something soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you guys are right. I know.
Yeah.
I know I'm a dumb bitch.
He's probably a great guy and has no idea he's having all these red flags, but
we've had several conversations.
Emotion, like, hey, bro, you're not doing this and that. I kind of need you to step it up. Like, I need you to work for me too. Like, I'm working for you. I want to see you work for me as well.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna keep it real. It's not.
I would say that's a bad perspective. Okay, for sure.
I'm just saying that Haley, ultimatum. Like a woman should never have to tell a man an ultimatum.
And you know what?
To make it official. Never.
I said that, and I would never do that because you're exactly right. I 100% agree.
The man
should never.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to. And that's the thing. Like, I hate having these conversations because I don't want to keep having them. It's like we've had them, and now it's like, okay, I don't want to bring it up again. Like it should just happen, but it's just like.
What kind of conversations did you have with them? Like, what were you telling him?
No, I'm just saying, like, we have discussed like the title thing, and just we talk in circles, and we don't get very much anywhere. But I don't want to like have to keep bringing it up. And like I said, after having a conversation or two, I'm just like been waiting to like just move and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But who knows? Now it's like I'm leaning, dump his ass. I'll just wake up tomorrow and be bye.
Yeah.
No, I definitely have been like have had those feelings, like where I'll wake up and be like, just gonna tell him bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then I just like, I'm lazy at the same time and don't feel like having that conversation either.
I'm telling you.
Sir, that's what it is. You don't want to go through the motions of like breaking up with someone.
Yeah. And if you a lot of people, you don't want to, because you invested so much time into women, like, you know what, now it's all for nothing, but that's just part of life. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I've been going through some other shit. So like at the same time, it's like, it feels like it's good. I don't have time to like really invest in making that part of my life complicated when I'm like content with everything at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're not content with it.
Some days I am and some days I'm not. It just depends on my mood.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's almost like you kind of are wanting the companionship and like that friend that you can call and text all the time.
no, because we
No?
don't text, and we're not gonna. If we like ended things, I'd
At all?
never talk to them again.
Wait, you don't text at all?
I mean, a little bit, but not really. Like I'm busy. I don't want to text. That's the thing. I don't text. Like that's not red flag. It's like I don't text.
2021. That's how we communicate.
It's nah. I don't like to text. I don't Snapchat. I don't like doing the Instagram. Like as much as I'm on TikTok, I'm not like a social media person. Like I don't look at my phone at all throughout the day. When I'm at work, like I'm busy and I'm exhausted. So like I feel like in that aspect, like we have a really good like communication like established.
If you're in a relationship with somebody, like you'll text somebody, right? Hey, how was work? How you doing? Everything all right?
We just wait till nighttime and FaceTime at night.
But as I'm saying is when you with somebody that cares about you, right? They reach out just cause.
Sometimes he does. Like this weekend we've texted a little bit because he's out of town. He's in Cleveland for a football game with his family. So like, weekends are different. If I'm not there with him, like then we'll text. Yeah. Mainly on the weekends, but and like occasionally he'll send me sweet good morning texts, and occasionally I might send them.
I need a good morning text every morning.
Nah.
I want to know that I'm the first thing on your mind.
Nah, I'm not like that. Like I'm different. I'm very different.
Do you like to like when you're in a relationship with somebody? Do you like to text and just like reach out to, hey, how you doing? Everything all right?
Some maybe like once a week.
Once a week?
I mean, like I don't need that, and I don't do that like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It just depends on the day, or like if I have something that's like significant to text him and say, aside from like, hey, like how's your day? I usually don't ever say, hey, how's your day?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think about them throughout the day?
Depends on the day. If I'm not busy. My days are crazy. I work with kids. I'm in a pediatric dental office, treating kids all day.
I don't know.
Sometimes. If I do, I'll send him a text. I sent him a picture of a snow cone I made one day. Because I can make good rainbows. I know, I'm weird.
Did he respond to it? Did he respond?
No.
I don't remember.
Sometimes that's a no. That's a no.
It was like 2 months ago.
Oh.
I don't know, guys. I don't really text throughout the day. And I think that's one of my issues is like
I think him being not making official has a big part of that, because I do believe if he was official.
You think I would want to text him more? I don't like texting anybody though.
But what I'm saying is when it's official and when it's somebody you really care about, like these things naturally happen. Because for me, like I work all day. I don't like to text either, but if it's somebody I really care about as a man, and like I'm concerned about her safety and I want to make sure she's all right, I make the effort.
Here, let's see. When was my last aside from today? Because there's days where we don't.
Restaurant, and I still like will run to the back real quick and like text like, hey, how you doing? And I may respond back an hour later, but like I still want to know how you're doing. I want to hear from you and know that you're willing to respond back to me,
because we're all busy,
Yeah.
Okay. So on Monday, he texted me at 6:51 a.m. because they denied him into Canada. And he went into detail about that. And we talked that morning a little bit. And then Tuesday, I think he texted me. So we got a Monday, we texted a little bit. And then Tuesday, he said, "Good morning, babe. Did you ever ask your mom about that book bag?" So then we talked about, we sent he sent me three texts that day, and I sent him 3 texts that day. You guys. And then Thursday, he sent me this flyer for an invitation. And then I didn't respond. I later then said like something about, okay, I'll make the dip.
I feel like he's not committing because you're almost giving the feeling that you don't want to commit.
Nah, that's just how we are, guys. That's just how we are. I don't know, we're weird. And then Thursday he texts me. Yeah, so I'm not like on my phone that much. Like if I get Snapchats, I might not open the snaps for like 5 days.
Yeah.
I know this is different.
No, it's just
I feel like I'm stunning you all.
No. This is, I've seen this before. Is what happens is like when you date certain men and they're not the type of man that's committing to you, their behaviors are all the same. So this is your normal. This is your normal. Because
I mean, like I said, if there's something we need to discuss,
yeah,
or if there's something worthy to discuss, but like if not, like, hey, how's your day? Oh, it's good. You know, how's yours? Same, bored, clearly, because I'm texting you. But you know, like today, like I didn't FaceTime him because we usually FaceTime at night at the same time every single night. Every single night. So that's our time to like talk. Anything that we want, talk about our day, anything funny that happened, whatnot. So when we're at work, like I'm not by my phone. Like just every day is different. If I am having a slow hour or two, if there's something I need to say, or if I am thinking about him, I might say, hey, good morning, or send him something nice. It just depends on the day. But texting, we don't have a consistent routine. But like I said, I don't need that. I don't need like that constant, like, I like the like one phone call a day because that's consistent for me. Okay. I'm not waiting for a text to come through. I'm not getting bored. I don't forget to text back. It's like, oh, who should text back? Should I text back? Oh, like I forgot. And it's my turn to carry on the conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
would you like him? Would you like him to text you and just check up on you?
I like that he doesn't do it every day. For me, it would become less significant. If he did that every day, I think it would drive me insane and like annoy me. If somebody was like, hey, how's your day every single day, that would drive me insane. Because it'd be like so repetitive and so routine that it gets boring. Because
that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of you got accustomed to it. So that's your norm now. Yeah. If you met a guy that was like really hands-on and really reciprocated the relationship,
it was up my asshole throughout the day.
Not up your asshole, but he put in the time. Like he was very concerned. Yeah. I think because you've got accustomed to these type of men that if you met a different man, you wouldn't, because that's your norm, you would feel weird. But that's actually what healthy relationships do.
Right. Like you tell about your day and you kind of want to know, like, and it's not just like, oh, it was good. It was more like
communication. Yeah.
Drove crazy. Like, I want to hear about your day kind of thing versus just like, oh, it was good. It's not supposed to be like a routine kind of thing. It's supposed to be more of a, I'm trying to be a part of your life.
Yeah. I guess like a part of me is kind of like, if you don't, I don't know. I see where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I'm just different. And it's not because I'm like accustomed. That's just, I don't like to be, my thumbs get tired too. I just don't like to text that much.
All right.
I don't text my friends back. Sometimes like I'm the type of person, I'll pick up the phone and call you. I prefer to pick up the phone and call people, FaceTime. That's just kind of how I am. I'm probably like a terrible best friend or terrible friend in a way because I probably don't check in with people as much as I should. You know, like I tend to lose connections with people, and that, I guess you can consider that a flaw, you know, because like I said, I will forget to text my friends back all the time. People who live out of town and are trying to have a conversation, but it's really hard for me to do that. So I think the takeaway here is just everybody has different ways of communication. It's not that I don't want to hear about his day. It's not that I don't care or that he doesn't care. I think him and I have very similar, and for us, it's healthy. Like, you know, I understand like you guys feel like you should want to hear about each other's days, but him and I have had this conversation, and I don't feel a void, and I wouldn't want him to change or want somebody different. And I don't feel that I have just adapted my ways because of men in the past. I just think that like that's my, you know, we have different preferences and communication styles, and fortunately his and mine match up in a way. And we've even talked about that out loud. Like we've talked about that with his roommates and have made the comment like how we hardly text, and we both have been like kind of like, because when we do talk at nighttime, it's nice, you know, like I said, it's consistent. Like we don't miss. It's every single night at like the same time, and that's our time to discuss whatever we need to talk about. Obviously, like unless there's something that happens throughout the day, you know, like if I have something that something bad happened, or I mean, like I'll text him about like crazy moms like telling me off or cussing me out, like stories like that. But if it's just like a regular day and nothing like interesting happened, I'll probably just wait until we talk on the phone.
Question. So when you do move out there, are you going to expect more communication?
Probably not.
Because even like just seeing each other is going to be more communication. So you're going to be comfortable with seeing each other less and talking less, or like keeping the level of talking the same?
The level of talking the same, but I think if we're discussing, oh, like, hey, do you want to do dinner tonight? In, you know, midweek, or if there's something to discuss in that sense, like, yeah, we probably will end up talking a lot more than we do currently.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that. Like, I definitely think that we will see each other a lot more. So I think naturally communication will go up, but not in a forceful way, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not gonna be forceful. It's gonna be like I said, naturally, it's gonna happen. It should happen. You guys are living closer together.
Yeah.
Closer proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like it will make us closer, like our bond, and I don't know. I don't expect us to be texting throughout the day any more than we already do, just like small talk.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, Haley, no worries. Thank you for opening up our podcast with that question. It was really deep. We went right into it.
I know.
Yeah, you guys. You really laid it into me. You really grew.
That's what we do on the Gum Club podcast.
But does he really care?
Right.
Well, yeah.
We're just like giving him hell of.
Got me in the hot seat here.
Hey, we gotta keep it hot. Gotta keep it hot in here. Anyways, if you're watching this right now, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feedback. We just had we just dissected Haley's
Whole life.
whole life in a situation. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feedback, with your advice, or about everything. So I definitely want to hear it. But yeah, let's transition into Brittany. I'm sure you have your question, your topic. Let's hear it. What do you let's do it.
I got locked out of my notes, but let's see. So why would you say that dating nowadays is so hard to like get into a relationship? Like kind of how Haley is going through that. Like why is it so hard for men, especially? Because I feel like it's more men than women that are willing to commit to a relationship.
Easy.
Oh, go ahead,
There's
Haley.
there's too many external influences these days with social media. I mean, aside from all the options, but no, it's mainly like, I don't know, options and not the feeling. They just don't want the feeling of being tied down. But I also think guys like overthink a lot of things, or won't. There are good guys out there that will, but like I think a lot of guys don't really take the time to understand women in a way, and so they perceive a lot of their qualities as red flags, whereas like you need to like try to understand, why are they all of a sudden being a certain way. Like you're in a situationship and all of a sudden she starts you know uh nagging you a lot, and it accumulates over time, and like it's like, why is she doing that? Or it's instead of, they might perceive it as like things are changing and just write you off, rather than like really trying to understand, well, maybe her love language is a certain thing, and like, but their love language is different. So understanding the differences and trying to kind of like cater to that in a sense, because they might think that they're doing something right, but if they're not really catering to that specific love language, that could make her start to manifest these negative traits or qualities that turn them off. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I definitely get that.
What do you think? What the answer to that question? So, all right, I'm about to go hard in the paint right now. So this is the top three things that came to mind when you asked that question, right? Why about men not really showing commitment into relationships anymore, right? I think there's three things. Number one, I think for a lot of men, because of social media, I think a lot of men are starting to realize is like, because of social media, a lot of women's standards have become very unrealistic. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok, on social media. Girls want the guy that's 6 foot, six figures, has a six pack. So I'm not saying this is all women, but I'm just saying is for a lot of men, they're starting to realize that a lot of the standards of what women want, because of social media, it has become unrealistic. And if they do want to satisfy a modern woman today, a lot of the things they want, especially for a lot of women, they want a guy with a higher socioeconomic status, that's healthy, that's has a house, has a car. These are things that for a lot of men, it takes them a while to build. So for a lot of men realizing, okay, these girls want these guys. And then of course, because of social media, Tinder, right? Most girls are reaching out to the guys with the higher socioeconomic status, the guys that are 6 feet, the guys that are doing well in life. So for the average guy, a lot of guys don't have that. So they realize, well, it's gotta take me a while to build that. So that's why a lot of guys are now, they're waiting a little bit later on in life to build their life, so they can attract women. I think number two, for a lot of men, marriage. Marriage I think for a lot of them, they're starting to realize marriage is not really a doesn't benefit men at all. You know, I don't know if you guys take a look at the marriage rates, right? Like, you know, America, we have over 50% divorce rate. You know, I don't know if you guys know, but 70% of marriages are initiated by women. So for a lot of men, they're okay. If I'm gonna marry a girl in America, and 70% of the time they're gonna divorce me, and if I get divorced, I'm gonna lose half. 50% of my resources are gonna go to her. I want to lose my children. 90% of the custody cases of the women takes it. So for a lot of men, they're starting to realize, okay, a lot of these women want more out of the average guy. And then if I do get married, there's a big risk for them. So for a lot of them, that's a conversation I have with men. I have with guys all the time. We talk about the risk of marriage. Is it worth it anymore? And for a lot of guys, you know, a lot of guys out there, they find their true love. Like they find the true love and they find somebody and that one girl and they say in a committed relationship, but 50% of the time, half the time, it doesn't always work out. And 50% is a big number. It's a big number, right?
I mean, I do feel like there's a lot of women who's initiating these because, you know, and not even to bring up my past trauma, but a lot of men do cheat. Like most men that I've dealt with.
No, yeah, you had a legitimate reason. Like you had a legitimate reason, right? But there's a lot of women out there that's just divorcing their guy because they found a better guy. You know, they found a guy that had a better job, better opportunity, better status.
Like if they're finding a better guy, do you think that it's probably more emotional? Because females operate more on emotions versus, you know, like, because I can have the brokest guy and you could get a job, you can get your shit together. That's not the problem to me. And most people that I know, at least, I feel like it's the emotional support that men usually are not giving. Like I have somebody in my life that I'm not going to name, but you know, she's been with this person for 10, 11 years. And for the last, you know, X amount of years, she's been telling him like, this is what I need. You're not giving me what I need. I love you, but I need this to fill up. I need this and that. And he just, you know, he'll change it for like a week or two, but then he'll go back to his old ways. And then eventually it becomes nagging. And so then now that she's like, all right, after 11 years, I'm leaving you. Now it's like,
so it's on that relationship you just mentioned was the problem was purely emotional.
Yeah, like there was no cheating, there's no like manhandling, there's no like
he worked hard, he had a job.
They both have jobs, they both do, you know, 50-50 in the relationship, but it's them personally that she's like, this is what I need to feel loved from you, and you're not doing it for me.
That's what I was literally just saying.
And, you know, a man will say, hey, you're nagging, and just be like, whatever. But now that she's like, no, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to be with you anymore. I love you as a person. I'm not in love with you anymore. Then it's like, why all of a sudden you're not even giving me a chance? And it's like, no, I've been giving you a chance for the last couple of years. You just haven't been listening to me.
Right.
So, okay, go ahead, Haley, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and it's just them really not, I feel like it's just them not trying. It's like, because that's not how they operate. Instead of them trying to work on the relationship, they would make sure that they are meeting those needs. You know, if she needs words of affirmation or acts of service, whatever it may be, go out of your way to try to, you know, adapt of some sort of way to meet those needs.
But I feel like sometimes when, as a woman, we say these things, it kind of really does listen. One out the other. Like, it's not being reciprocated as this is a problem that's going to make us split. They think it's just, oh, whatever, she'll get over it in a couple of days.
Right. They're just not even caring or understanding and don't really see it as big of an issue as it really does become in the long run.
It's an issue.
I would say this, because this is something I've noticed, you know, in America or in Western societies, where a lot of people, when they talk about marriages or relationships, they focus on happiness. Because I believe when you get married to somebody, you shouldn't get married for happiness. I think you should get married for purpose. because if you get married for happiness, right? Because the thing is, and I've listened to this from a lot of people. I want to find a partner that makes me happy. I hear this all the time. I want to marry somebody that makes me happy, and I think that's if you base your relationship or marriage on happiness, I think that's a marriage that's going to fail because our happiness changes all the time. So you might be happy this year. Maybe I don't know if you're going to be happy 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? I think I think that's one of the biggest problems in the West is the idea that marriage is about happiness. But if you think about, but when I talk to my parents and my grandparents about their marriage, they never once they talk about happiness. It was more about obligation, duty, responsibility to create a family and to make sure the family stays intact. The man knew his role. My dad, my parents were barely emotionally expressive in front of us. Like I barely saw them show any affection, but I knew they loved each other. But they never, my parents never separated. But my dad knew that his responsibility, the way he to his family was to his family and to his wife, that he had to go out there and be the provider, protector. My mom knew her responsibility to the family was to be able to raise the kids and take care of the family and make sure she raised us with love and unconditional love and take care of us. So there was this notion of responsibility and duty and obligation, the purpose of creating a family, a successful family. There was no talk of, and then in because my dad fulfilled his role, my mom fulfilled his role, and the work they put in and the commitment they had for each other, that byproduct was like they found joy and happiness as they lived together. So this idea of going into marriages and happiness because for the purpose of happiness, I think it's a marriage doomed to fail because the only person that can make you happy is yourself. There's no one. No, it's no one else's responsibility to make you happy. You should go into the marriage already happy, already, but you found somebody that you would like to be with for the rest of your life, and you made it you made a commitment, and you made a vow. But that's what marriage is. It's a vow that no matter what happens, whether it's sickness and health, or whether I'm happy or not, I made a commitment to this person to create a family and to make sure that these kids have the same father and mother. And that's my opinion about happiness. Because let me ask you this, Ernie, if you met a guy that did everything right, hard worker, worked hard, had a job, consistent, never cheated on you, never, always showed reciprocated everything, the communication, you guys had great communication, but he wasn't really emotional about, his feelings towards you, or maybe he wasn't as romantic or as emotionally expressive that we see in the movies of what guys, are doing in the movies. But he did everything right. Like he did everything right. He was consistent. He was loyal. Do you need your man to be emotionally expressive and to be happiness if he's doing everything right?
There's degrees to that, though. Like, everybody has a love language, and you have to fulfill that love language. So even though I do agree with the aspect of like he's doing everything right, so I'm not going to leave, but that's exactly the kind of situation that I'm talking about with the person that I know who's going through the same thing. He's doing the same, he's doing everything right, like he's helping with the kids, he has a job, he's they're both financially supportive to each other, but she feels alone in the relationships. She feels like when they're at home together, they don't talk. So that's almost
okay. That makes sense, right? If they're not talking, then all she has to do is identify the reason why he's not talking, right?
Yeah, but like, okay, say I'm at home with you all day, and you barely even like give me any acknowledgement, but at the end of the night, you want sex. So is that like a real relationship? Am I obligated to give you sex because we're in a relationship now?
I mean, let's be honest. Like, for most, men. And do you like your men to be masculine, Brittany?
Yes.
Very masculine. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So for very masculine men, right? Like, they don't like to. I mean, it's not their nature to be emotionally expressive. Maybe very masculine men. So they just like masculine men. They're just very ambitious, assertive, and very dutiful towards their purpose in life. It's like that's how masculine.
Some type of way, right?
Huh? What?
they have to show love in some type of way, right?
No, but yes.
Women are emotional creatures.
No, of course, but that's when it comes to communications. For a guy, for masculine men, for him not to talk to at all, maybe his mind's somewhere else, right? He could just be thinking about something else at work, thinking, maybe stress of the things he's going through, of the challenges he's going through in his life. So as men, we like to deal with our challenges inwardly. For women, you guys will deal with challenges through communication and expressiveness, right? So maybe just going through something. So that's what I'm saying. Communication is asking, hey, you were not talking. So if you talk to him and let him know, hey, is there a reason why you're not talking? And he just communicates that with you. Like, you know what, honey, I was just going through something. I just needed some time. I was just going through something I was going through. I didn't want to talk about it. All right, that makes sense, right?
How long is that allowed? Like, how long can you keep saying that? Because eventually,
but if you communicate with him that, hey, that's causing I want to know, then that's fine, right? He will, like, guys will open up to you, right? But I'm saying is, just because he doesn't open up to you doesn't mean there's always a problem, unless I want to identify. If he tells you, look, I was just going through it, my bad. What do you need from me, right? What's up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you let him know, hey, oh, I just thought that you weren't talking to me because you there was no fire, or you don't love me no more. No, I still love you. I'm sorry, I was going through something else. Now you identify the problem. He's communicated that it wasn't because of a lack of love or lack of interest. Because men, we do things differently than women. And once he communicates that with you, then that should be suffice for both parties. And
you said he'll change for a week, and then he goes back.
But that's the thing. Like, if you understand, like my mom understood that's how my dad was, right? She just understood that my dad wasn't the most my emotionally expressive, but they'll have their talks, right? They'll have their talks, but it's like you're trying to change them.
Obligated to be with them because of a family, because kids grow up and then there's left with only you two.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
What did you say?
So, like, obviously they're kind of like their communication or like their dynamic of life. They do it for the kids and for the family. But once the kids are grown and out of the house, like, how does that work now? Like, are they still, loving and still like wanting to be happy in that situation?
No, what I'm saying is, like, accepting them as they are and not trying to change it. So I give you a perfect example. Like, if I was with a woman that was very feminine and she was very emotionally expressive, she liked to talk about our feelings, right? I'm not gonna tell her, hey, that's annoying me. You need to stop being emotionally expressive towards me. I understand that's her, because I know when women are very feminine, they're very caring and loving. So, like, men who are very masculine, they're not as they're very stoic. They're very stoic men, so they're not as emotionally expressive. So that's just something I just realized in like, I think, like, our grandparents and parents understood the difference between masculine and feminine. One thing I realized in the West is, like, from a lot of women who grew up in the Western society because of the romantic movies you guys watch, a lot of times that's what you want out of these men, what you see in the movies. But the thing is, the more masculine a man is, and a lot of women, when I talk to them, they're like, I want a strong masculine man. Great. But when you meet those strong masculine men, they're not the most overly emotionally expressive and romantic type of men. In reality, men who are very masculine, they're very, they're gonna be very purposeful, very ambitious, very confident. But like I said, if there's an underlying issue of why he's not emotionally expressive to you, then of course identify it. If he's not being emotionally expressive because he doesn't like you no more, because he's not in love with you no more, maybe he's out of woman. Yeah, but if a man is doing everything right, mm-hmm. and maybe he's not emotionally expressive, and you guys can communicate that with him. He's like, what? But okay, he'll try to put in an effort. But for me, it's like, if he's doing everything right, which is the most important thing, if he's doing everything right, what more do you want? If you know that that's what I'm saying to you. Like,
not for what I want. It's kind of like I still need to feel like I'm loved. Like, even though you're doing everything right, like if I don't feel loved, if you're walking right past me every day, if you're not giving me affection, you know, like you cannot be the most expressive, but you can tap me on my ass every day and make me feel like you love me, you know what I mean? Or you can like give me a kiss goodnight, or when you're leaving to work in the morning, you're kissing me in my sleep. But if you're not doing anything, it's just like literally we're roommates, then that's where.
Oh, okay. So
It's almost like,
go ahead.
like, it's almost kind of like, do you even like me? Are you attracted to me anymore?
Like, I need something. You have to feel
Right.
something. And then like, if you're not getting any of that at all, and then at the end of the night, it's like, all right, drop your drawers. I want to have sex.
Because at some point, before they got married, he was obviously doing the right thing. Like she was feeling, she was receiving love the way she needed to a certain point. And then all of a sudden that love was no longer being reciprocated anymore, or whatever I'm trying to say. I'm tired, but
and it's like,
you know what I'm saying? It's just like it stopped, and it's like, why does that stop? It shouldn't stop. You know, it's natural.
Like, even if it's not to the capacity of the honeymooning stage, it still should be some type of consistency to make me feel loved.
Right, and it's just the little things, like even just the smallest things, and that requires little to no effort.
No effort.
Brittany, let me ask you, Brittany, are your parents still together?
They were never together.
Oh, okay, all right. So, all right. Do you know an older couple that was like your parents' age that had a successful marriage?
Yes.
Would they emotionally expressive the way you just explained, like they were tapping each other's ass and they're good morning kisses in the morning?
They are loving to a degree, yes. They show some type of emotion.
Okay, but like the way you explained it. Exactly the way you explained it.
Well, I'm talking about like newer age kind of thing, but I like for them, for instance, it was like we have tea in the morning. Every morning we get up before everybody gets up, and we're gonna have our alone time, have tea and talk. That's a way of showing love.
But that brings it to my point, right? Like, I think like in Western society in America, social media or the internet or the movies has romanticized the relationship for what really is. But I'm telling you, when you go look at marriages that last a long time, it's not a lot of emotional expressiveness. It's not a lot. I mean, I'm sure they still find a way to communicate and find a way to make love, but this notion that to be overly good kissing and not like marriage is hard work.
Right.
And I'm telling you, the people that I've seen married a long time, they had their intimacy, but there wasn't a lot of emotional expressiveness and romanticism. But they just had a deep sense of loyalty and an obligation and duty to each other that we're going to stay together, and we're going to build this family. And I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks from Western society and social media. It's created this false sense of perception of that marriages is like it's just this romantic, fun, happy voyage and journey you just go with your partner. But in reality, when you talk to people who are married, they're like, dude, it's a lot of work, and we don't really have time to have, you know, they have to figure it out and make sure they have time to have sex, have fun with each other. But it's not as romantic as fulfilling the way you describe it. But in reality, it's just it's hard. But there's a commitment between these two that even when our relationship is not as romantic, even when our relationship is not as fun, we made a commitment to be with each other. And that's what I'm saying is that's why I asked you the question, where did you see this from? Because if you would have said, if I saw it from my parents, I saw it from people, that would have made sense to me. But whenever I ask that question to people about this, the way they look at relationships, like,
well,
go ahead.
I think what she's meaning is like, what the couple that she's referring to is not even having conversation. It's almost like
they had tea together.
The female in this scenario, you know, after work, for instance, like there's no communication whatsoever. It's almost like she's being ignored in a way. And so what you were saying, Will, I agree with, like, yes, expressing, and as you know, the longer as your marriage goes on, it's not all romantic. But I can say from my parents' experience, because my parents are still married and love each other, and no, it's not like, the like touchy feel, but I see constant communication and still continue to see them. They go on trips together, and you can still see that connection they have that they formed, when they first fell in love. Like that still carries through. No, it's not touchy feely, like kissy huggy. No, but like they talk. And I think is that kind of what you're saying, Brittany, is like that they lost that in a way.
Yeah, lost that that
like
connection.
Like
that, where before they used to for instance, she's like, hey, how's your day? Oh, it was whatever, it's okay. But they go out to dinner with family and the sister asks, hey, how was your day? Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah happened and this happened, blah, blah. And, this person's like,
right.
I literally just asked you that and you didn't tell me any of that, so it's like where you want to feel included in their life and they're not letting.
Oh, okay. No, that's what I was saying is like, I think that for me, for based on what you said, just identify why he's not talking. So if he's talking to other people, not talking to you, then clearly there's a reason, right? So that's the root of the issue. I'm saying is, if you meet a guy that loves you and he's not as emotionally expressive, but he's doing everything right, he's very consistent. He goes to work. He spends time with your kids. He's a great father. Whatever you need from him, he does it. And he's not emotionally expressive. All I'm saying is like that's not a red flag.
But they're already married. They're already married. They've been married.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like that's what I'm saying is I do hear from a lot of women today about marriage and relationships. Right? They want this social media, like they want this happiness, fun, romantic type of marriage and relationship, and then we all know this, right? Once you go in a relationship, the first couple of months is the honeymoon phase, and then everything else becomes it just becomes repetitive, right? It becomes we go through the motions. It doesn't mean the relationship's dying. No, that's just what happens when you spend time with somebody for a very long time. You go through your honeymoon phase when you first try to court each other because you first meet for the first time. You're finding out things about each other. So there's this fire that goes. But then after a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's not the same as it was at the beginning. But you find a way to make it work. And also the only thing that's different now is you've made a commitment now that there's no going back.
Is there not?
But and it's like I so agree with you, and I hear what you're saying, and like because I feel like how you're feeling is how the man in this situation is feeling. Like I made a commitment to you. I had 3 kids with you. I proposed to you. I want to be with you. I don't see myself with anybody else. But the woman in this situation is like, well, I've been asking you to give me this for the last 3 to 4 years, and you just cannot give it to me. And I feel a void. I feel like my cup is up here and your cup is down here and you can't feel me. Like there's something that's not connecting at this moment.
Go ahead, Ellie.
I feel like this is literally have you guys watched Sex Life on Netflix?
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch it. This is literally that scenario. Just watch it and it's what you're describing.
Okay.
No,
it's such a good series.
That's the worst movie to talk about relationships, because that Sex Life, that girl in that I've never watched it, but I saw scenes. But pretty much what it is like.
You know what? Forget what people are saying. It's actually there's a lot more like meaning. It's really good. It's not just there's a lot of sexy things in there, but the meaning behind the whole storyline. It's very good. And it's definitely worth the watch. There's only like 8 episodes, but I binge watched it in like a day or 2. It's good. Seriously. But it's this exact scenario that she's talking about. Both of you should watch it and like you just see it all pan out.
No, I have friends that they explained it to me and read it and I read upon it. It was like it's this woman that's in a relationship with this guy. And
she's married.
She's married. And there's not a lot of
guy.
There's not a lot of passion and fire in one relationship, And then
Which dies all the time. Like
and then
after.
yeah, but she meets somebody she knew in the past, and then is really good in bed, and she cheats on him. He cheats on her
Go
husband.
watch it. It's way more in depth than that.
But that's why I'm coming to. That's why I'm saying is like one thing I've observed in America, right, is it's like if the passion dies out, the fire dies out, right? Even if the guy's doing everything right, they think that marriage is over, right? And all I'm saying is, lady, is like if he's cheating on you, if he's hurting on you, if they're abusing you, of course, those are legitimate reasons why you should break up. I'm just saying is if the guy's doing everything right, and especially when it comes to men, we're different in how we emotionally express, especially if you're talking about like 5 years into the relationship. Most guys are not going to be, they're going to try to keep it as much as they can at the beginning. But once we go into 5, 10, 15, 20 years, guys are just going to just be men.
Like, I got it in the bag. I don't got to work for it no more.
All right. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, the most important thing is he's doing everything right? Is he still loving you? Is he still working to put a roof over your head? If he's still feeding your kids? If he's still being a great father? Isn't that more important? I'm just saying, isn't that more important than, okay, I'm not being emotionally expressive?
I really logically outside of the situation, yes, I do understand what you're saying. And I do feel like we should be content with, the roof over our head. But I feel like that's also goes back to the old time and day where it's like women couldn't really do anything. And, like we couldn't get jobs or whatever. So we had to just take it. And we just had to like deal with, not feeling loved. Like if you feel alone in a relationship, if you feel like the man you're with is literally just a roommate almost situation, but then you're obligated to have sex with this man at the same time, there's no emotional connection anymore. Like, how do you feel like that's like what you're supposed to do for life?
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. What I hope is the emotional connection that you want isn't what everybody else is doing, because everybody's different. Can we all agree, right? So every man is different of how they show their love. So if you meet a man that you love and you chose to marry him, knowing full well that the way he's not as emotionally expressive than other men, then you should be able to accept him as he is, if he's the one that you love and he's committed to you. What I hope is that you're not comparing that man to all the other men that you see, and then you want him to change, because and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's why. I'm just saying I have seen women. They're like, all right. They're looking at all these other men or movies or TV, social media, and the guy that they met, that she knew that's how he was, but because he's not acting like what everybody else is acting like, or the social media, or what she sees on the outside, she's trying to make him into become that, even though he's doing everything right and there's no problems. And so but it's a great discussion, yeah, if you guys are watching this right now, let me know your thoughts. But that's a great topic. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts on it. Anybody, if you guys want to add on to anything else?
My favorite is every time one of your kids scurries behind you, Brittany.
I'm like, get out of here.
It's so cute. Every time they're like.
But yeah,
I think those were both good discussions for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and dump his ass. I just like saying that.
No, I feel like definitely there's a lot of work in that. Like, I feel like no matter what in a relationship, there has to be some sort of consistency. And I don't care how long it's been, you have to show me love in some type of way or form, And like once that love starts, and I'm only giving you guys like the surface of what the relationship.
Yeah.
Other things that is like diminishing the relationship, but for instance, this person works a full-time job, takes care of her kids full-time, is trying to do things for herself. She can't have friends because she literally is obligated to all her family life, and she's not being necessarily helped in that aspect. So it's like, yeah, he's a provider, but like she's half the provider too, and taking care of all the kids and taking all of the house duties, and then not getting the love that she feels like she deserves. So like there's dimensions to all these relationships, you know what I mean?
Okay. No, okay, yeah. Like I said, like I think the first step for them is identifying the problem, right?
Right.
So what's causing all of this for both of them, for her to feel that type of way, and then I think once you have that conversation, then it should be good. But if he's not willing to have that conversation and willing to address that issue to make it work, then of course that could be a big problem for
Well,
him.
it's more of like she addressed the issue and he'll fix it for a day or two, and then he'll go back. And
Okay.
then now that she's completely over it and says, okay, I want the relationship to be over, it's like, wait, what? You didn't even give me a chance. But it's like, no, I did.
Mm-hmm.
You tons of chances. I've been telling you the same thing over and over, but you took it as nagging when I was just telling you that I need to be loved this type of way.
Okay. All right. No worries. All right. So, but you know what? Since we're on this, I want to ask you this question, ladies, real quick. Like, if you met a guy that was responsible, was a provider, protector, loved his family, loved his kids, but he wasn't really emotional. I mean, I'm sorry, he wasn't really emotionally expressive
Mm-hmm.
or romantic. Would you be able to be with that guy or no?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, in your way, show me love.
Yeah.
I can accept that. Because, obviously if I love you for a reason. And, if you can't give it to me like in the most expressive way, then, I'd have to accept that. But, you would still have to show me love. And
yeah, of course.
You'd have to show me some type of love.
Yeah, in this way. Okay. What about you, Haley?
Yeah, I mean, I think you fell in love for a reason. If you're not changing who you are, obviously they do something to earn my love. And if it gets to that point, that means there's a connection. As long as there's always that connection and you're being, yourself, it doesn't matter how, if they're not so expressive or whatever. If it's to the point where they're not very emotional or romantic or expressive, I may never even get to that level, and it may not go very far. It just depends,
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I guess the last question I'm going to ask you guys: what's your take on modern dating? Why do you feel like relationships are failing today? That's my question to you guys.
I feel like
go start with you, Haley. Go ahead.
I feel like that was a lot of what we just discussed, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have another take on it?
What about you, Brittany?
I feel like the reason why we fail today is because so now we have, instead of being able to go out and make these connections in person, like I used to be able to go to a bar and like see a guy, or I'd go to work and like meet a guy and like we had this talk and be like, oh, we vibe together. Hey, you want to go out? Da, 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 da. Now nobody wants to go up to women because we have this notion of like, oh, you're being creepy or don't talk to me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And huh?
No, yeah. Go ahead.
And then now we have dating apps, where before we didn't have dating apps. You just have to meet people. So now you have these dating apps where it's like, now I could be shallow. Oh, you're not 6 tall? Swipe left. You don't have a job? Swipe left. Your nose is too big, or your lips are too small, or, just whatever it is, swipe left. And now I could have met my soulmate, but I swipe left because I'm shallow at this point. You know what I mean? So I feel like dating apps almost ruined the dating world. And that's where.
Yeah, because it's really hard to really know somebody because you're basing it all on what they look like and whatever they post on their profile, and you're going to take it for what it says, assuming that they're truthful there. Most of the time, I'd say 50-50, if not more. There's lies, or doesn't tell you anything about who they are. And a lot of connections that people would make organically, like in person, a lot of the men I've dated in the past, it's usually like me developing feelings based on their personality. I've built a lot of relationships that started out as friendships. So if you're just swiping left, you just don't get that chance to even talk to them in person, to hear their voice, to kind of just see their demeanor, their, who they are. You can only learn so much, and it's not just women. I think it forces everybody to be shallow in a way.
And especially with these dating apps, like I'm pushing myself out, like, hey, look at me, like, little do you know, I have like this really great personality, but you can't tell that over my pictures. You can't tell that over my bio, because in my bio, I'm like, if you don't live in Vegas, I don't want to talk to you type stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to like really genuinely get to know anybody through these dating apps. You're trying to push your best attributes to the front without like really just showing who you actually are. You're just showcasing the good things about yourself.
I remember I was reading this article where it said that that what social media has done is given, I guess, people the false sense that they can get the top tier, I guess, mate in the world, right? Because and I think I saw like on Tinder, it said that the top 10% of men in Tinder got like 60 to 70% of all the swipes from the women, and then the bottom 50% of the men got like 5% of the likes from all their swipes from the women. And I think that goes both ways for guys. Like every guy is pursuing the top most beautiful woman on the social media apps, but they're not giving attention to the other girls. So it goes both ways. But so this is the one thing I always hear from the men who follow my podcast. They always say that the problem with social media today, especially for women, that most girls won't want to date the average guy no more. Like, because I brought up the unrealistic standards now in modern day dating. So I want to ask you, ladies, would you be content with dating an average guy? Average guy in America.
What do you consider average?
5'7", $40,000 a year, and average health and body type. So 5'7", $40,000 a year.
My man's is 5'8".
What I'm saying is.
So I mean, that's pretty average.
Yeah. Like, I'm asking you honestly, like, would you be able to date a guy that's the average guy, right? It's 5'7", I think it's 5'7", 5'8". That's the average height. Yeah. $40,000 a year average, and average health. Like, he's not fit, he's not fat, but he's like just average.
So earlier in my life, I would say absolutely not. I think now, at this point in life, I feel like I've passed up a lot of good men based off of height, based off of, body type. I usually go for 6'4", athletic, basketball build, but then, which,
hey, that's modern day. That's a modern day dating. You go ahead.
But, but, that was like a complete description of my ex-husband, by the way.
How tall are you, Brittany?
I'm 5'7".
Okay.
And I usually don't date under 6'2", but I have stopped that mindset because I feel like I'm passing up on a lot of great guys that have personality, have, decent jobs, have, just like want to treat me like a princess. And I'm sitting here like, nope, you're not 6'2". You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to sometimes just really evaluate the toxic in your own head, you know?
Something I see.
guess
Go ahead.
I was
Kelly,
gonna
go.
say, for me, because you're not gonna probably hear this from very many girls, but for me, height's never been a thing.
How tall are you?
5'4".
Of course.
Well, that's fine. I wear
Yeah, there's a lot of short women like me.
Haley, would you date a guy that's under 5'4"?
No,
Exactly.
you're 5'7", so like you wouldn't date somebody 5'10". I would date a guy who's 5'5" or 5'6".
Can't do 5'10", Brittany?
No, I can't. Well, I'm saying now I can date.
No.
You know,
Okay.
but before, if you met me in my prime, it would be a hell no.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think I'm kind of at a point in my life where I'm probably going to make more money than most of the guys I talk to at this point. So like, that's not a thing either for me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
At this point.
I have an opinion about that.
Let's hear it.
I believe that if a woman makes more money than the guy, that relationship will probably has a high chance of not working out.
Of not working out?
Working out. Because
Then
women
there's
like,
going to be like nobody for me, man.
there is, you just gotta find the guy.
Questions in my notes, like why do men feel like they have this? Men have this complex that a woman can make more money than them because they all of a sudden get defensive and they get like drawn back and upset.
I'll explain.
Like, huh?
No, there's a reason why guys don't pursue women who makes more money than them. Number one, women. There's multiple reasons, but the first one is number one. Women who are makes a lot of money, are very successful, they tend to be very masculine, right? Because you have to be masculine in order to exceed and level up in life, right? And which I don't have a problem with. Like, ladies, you want to go out there and be successful, go do your thing. But men want feminine women at the end of the day to wife up and to be a wife. And a lot of the women who are very successful, they are very masculine, right? And the thing is, for a lot of guys, that's not attractive. Like I'm trying to, because what happens is when you date a masculine woman, you know, she's always going to compare her success to your success. It happens. It's inevitable, right? Unless you as a man is doing better than her. But if you date a woman that makes more money than you, she's going to use that against you. I'm telling you, it always happens. She's going to use it. Eventually, it's going to be challenges.
Both on the table, I don't think that's the case.
Right. And
I've had situations where I've been the breadwinner in the relationship. It wasn't that, you know, I was better than him. It was just like, can you get a job?
But that's what I'm saying. The difference between men and women is like, for men, we don't care about if our woman makes less. So if I marry a girl that's, if I'm the provider protector, right? I don't require my woman to level up or to be at my level. I don't need that. I just want you to be my woman. I'll be the provider protector. But if your woman makes more money than you as a man, she wants you to be at her level, right? So there's this pressure, overwhelming pressure around. Like, look, I like my job. You shouldn't require me to meet your level. If you want to be successful, great, but don't try to make me to be at your level. Great relationship. That's what happens when you do it.
That's an assumption, though.
No. I'm telling you. That there's a reason.
Making that, but because I would never like. That'd be like, okay, so the guy I'm with right now, like, let's say we do make it long term. He has a great job. He's smart and he's an engineer, but he is not in a position where I don't know if he ever will. Because as he grows, I will continue to grow. And when you compare apples to apples, so like it's unrealistic for me to hold him to that standard to where, you know, for him to make more money than myself, if that makes sense.
I mean, let me ask you, would you be able to date a guy that makes significantly less money than you?
Yes, because I've always lived to a point where, like, for me, it's about connection.
Yeah.
You know, if I can see, if you have a job and you make money and you can provide for yourself, that's enough for me from a guy. If we have everything else together and, you know, it doesn't even matter if you went to school, but if like you have a good job and you like what you do, that's enough.
So if you met a guy that, say you met a guy that was working at a job, it doesn't pay a lot. You were paying majority of the bills. He was because of his job, is because of his income, because he doesn't make a lot. You're gonna end up carrying for the 90% of the financial burden. He's gonna carry like 10%, but like I said, he's loyal to you. He's got a good connection. You're carrying 90% of the financial responsibility.
But like,
Are you okay with that?
why would I be with a guy though? Like I said, as long as he has a job, you shouldn't really like, you should try to live within, you know, because what if I lost my job? It should be within our means, you know. He should be able to, if we weren't together, would he be homeless? You know?
Well, but that's what is like you're
It's like he'll be able to pay for some of it. 10% is small though.
I get both of the points. I feel like both are correct, because for you, Will, like you feel like you have more of that traditional household feel, like from what you say, like with your parents and everything, you come from a very structured and traditional type of way where a man is supposed to be the provider, the woman is supposed to take care of the household, and that's how it's supposed to go. And you know, nowadays where it is where women are almost trained, like we're trained to be feminists now, like we're trained to be like, I could do it by myself, I don't need a man. But we have to pull it back, because I want to be feminine and I want to like let my man take control and like do what he's supposed to do for the house. So yes, I technically would prefer my man to make more money than me, because I want to be able to take a step back and take care of the house and like, you know, be more in my feminine energy, really.
Yeah.
But most of the time nowadays, especially in this dating world, I'm sorry, but a lot of men almost make us have to be in our masculine energy. Even though you guys hate it, it's almost like you make us, because it's like, oh, you can't be a gold digger. All right, well, I'm gonna go get my own money. I'm gonna go do my own thing. But now that I'm doing my own thing, oh, you're too masculine. You do your own stuff. So it's like, it's almost like
they're not freaking happy. No, nobody's happy.
No.
How do we go about that?
The reason why men are very protective when it comes to their money, because of what they say gold digger, because when like I told you guys before, the marriage laws doesn't benefit us at all. It benefits more for the woman, right? So if we get married and you leave, I'm gonna lose. Most men, we're gonna lose 50% of our income, and then when it comes to our children, we're gonna.
But not if the woman makes more money than them.
Yeah, but that's rarely the case.
But
because you make it the case if you avoid it.
And also the thing is, with women, like women don't, like I told you guys before. Number one, men know that women who are very successful are very masculine. Most men want feminine women. Also, the women who are very successful, they only want men in the same level as them. So they're not gonna date the average guy of women who are very successful. They only want the guys either either the same or higher level. So the idea that a woman will marry a guy beneath her status, that's maybe probably the exception, but that's not the majority. Like women, if you are a woman, whatever socioeconomic status you are in life, you want men in that same level. You don't look down on it. Like if you're like corporate, you want corporate guys. If you're making a certain type of income, 5%, 10%, you want to date guys within that pool. You're not going to date the average guy. So guys know also, like, that's why you say like a guy that's a millionaire can marry a broke girl, make her his wife. But you will never see a millionaire that's a woman marry a broke guy. That never happens. So like that's just the reality. It's like that's just the difference between men and women, and that's why a lot of men know that if my woman makes more money than me, I have to meet her at her level, or the reality is she's gonna find somebody else, because men know that women prefer their men to be the provider and protector. Even if you make money as a woman, you still prefer your man to take care of you. When you don't feel like your man is taking care of you and you're taking care of him as the woman, you don't feel like he's a man.
I feel
You
like
feel
I
like,
have another.
you feel like you're the man in a relationship, and women don't want to feel like they're the man in a relationship. You want to feel like the woman. And if you're with a man that's inadequate in his ability to provide and protect you, you're gonna look for men know that you're gonna find somebody else. So that's why if you meet a woman that's very successful, if you're growing and you know you're gonna meet her at her level, great. But then also she may be very masculine, so that's gonna be a turn off. So it's for me, it's not a matter of like intimidation. It's just the dynamic, the intersexual dynamic between men and women. It just doesn't work when the woman makes more money. It works better if the guy that she's with makes more money than her, but she can still be successful. She just has to align with the guy that makes more money than her. But the problem with that is that dating pool is very limited because the guys that makes more money than you is so small. And also the guys that makes more money than you, all these other women are trying to get at him. So the likelihood of him cheating and being with other women is going to be really high. So that's like the dilemma. So that's why. Yeah, because like no, because I know women right now who have businesses very successful, and I tell them, why don't you? And they're single, and they struggle with dating, and they're like, why don't you just marry the average guy? And they always tell me like, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm taking care of it because I make more money. Even the guys, like you said, even that the guy is like loyal, like these are the average guy really to like they'll marry them, but they don't want to marry them because they just feel like that because they make more money as women, they want their men to they don't want to take care of it. So maybe you, Haley, maybe you may be the exception, Haley. You may be out there and you don't care about money, but I'm just saying, like for most women, like
I mean, I wouldn't even say that we necessarily care about money, but when it comes down to it,
yeah, it comes down to it.
Your thing is kind of correct.
Yeah, like and also for the guys, I always tell women, there's like we don't care about like how much money a woman makes. Like it doesn't increase your value or always make me more attracted to you. But when I meet a woman, how much money you make doesn't. All I care about is your femininity, your beauty, and your feminine and your feminine characteristics that makes you beautiful. That's all I like. You guys care about money. When a guy's in the United States that has a good job and career and is, you guys care about that.
I go out and be like, hey, I want you for your money.
It's I'm saying it makes a man more attractive. It makes him more attractive, right? Like it's independent, it can take care of you, right? Yeah. But for guys, I always tell women who are my good friends of mine now, they're very successful and they own their businesses. I always tell them like, guys, like how much money you make doesn't for guys. That's not what we look for as far as attraction. Like you guys care about that. But I know there's a lot of women that they think that the more successful they become, is like the more they're going to attract the men.
I'm falling asleep over here, guys.
No worries.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. But yeah, nevertheless, we've come to the conclusion of the podcast. And ladies, thank you so much for joining in. And thanks you, Haley.
Thanks for having me.
For being all the way in the East Coast. All I want to ask you before we leave, can you guys just give me your takeaway from today's podcast, and how can people find you if people want to find your content? How can they find you? So that way, I want to make sure that people can follow you guys. I'll start with you, Haley.
As told by Haley, all one word, but HALEY. As told by Haley on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. And then
Instagram, I don't post much.
No worries. And what was your takeaway for tonight's podcast?
A lot. We had a lot of discussion. A lot to think about. Not doing too much.
Get that title. That's why you take away. Get that title. Get that title.
I'm so like my brain's getting foggy.
No worries.
So much stuff, but it was good. It was good talk. A lot to think about.
No worries. And Brittany, your takeaway and how can people find you?
All right. I am on TikTok and Instagram at Brittany Iona, and spelled like Britney Spears. So Brittany Iona. And then my takeaway from the podcast is I definitely understood what you were talking about with like the aspects of the family and the man being the provider. And, like sometimes as we go 10 years down the line, we don't need to have this super emotional connection. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, there still has to be some type of connection, still some type of love shown. And that's what makes the relationship work, because men are masculine and they're providers and all that other stuff. And they're like, and they, just keep going. But like, they have to stop and think like, us women are emotional creatures and we do need to be shown some type of affection.
All right. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the chat, ladies. Thank you, Haley, for all you guys for sharing your stories. Definitely follow both these ladies in their social media platforms. But Haley, have a great night. Have a great night.
Thank you.
You guys
Thanks
have
for
a great
having
night.
me.